Welcome to the Ty and Dan podcast. I'm Tyler Evans with my good friend Danny Forbes. Danny, how are you now?
I'm doing well, brother. Thank you.
Danny, Nolan Arenado got traded this week to the St. Louis Cardinals. Does this make St. Louis the favorite to win the Central?
I believe so, especially with the absolute downfall of the Cubs. They're rebuilding. Nolan Arenado is the best third baseman in baseball.
Yeah.
I know he had an off year with the short season last year, but just the eyeball test, what he can do defensively first and foremost, and what he does with the bat as well. He's just the guy. He's the elite third baseman that you want, and St. Louis fans and St. Louis themselves should be just ecstatic that they were able to pull this off.
It looks like the Cubs are going to go into a rebuild, and it looks like Pittsburgh, like they're normally one of those franchises that is always retooling, rebuilding, whatever you want to say. So, yeah, this really does put St. Louis on the fast track to win their division this year. Milwaukee is going to be the team that they compete with. They had a pretty down year last year. I believe they finished fourth in their division. So, yeah, St. Louis adding Nolan Arenado is absolutely huge for them. They were second in their division last year, and this is definitely going to boost them up into the top of the division for sure. One thing about Nolan Arenado is he is going to be 30 years old this April. As you said, he is coming off his worst season, and he was dealing with a shoulder injury. And the other thing about Nolan Arenado in this trade is that after this season, he can say, see you later, St. Louis. I'm going to go home. I'm going to go play with the Dodgers now. I'm going to go play with San Diego. And then he also has another opportunity to opt out in 2022.
Wow, that's it's risky for St. Louis. Absolutely, I didn't know he could opt out after 1 year. That's wild. So
Yeah.
let's hope it goes well. Let's hope it, for Nolan Arenado's sake, he wants to play well because he wants as much money as possible on the table after this year, whether it's staying with St. Louis or he has God knows he could have a great season again and say, you know what, I'm going to opt out and see if I can get even more in free agency after this year.
Yeah.
So it's interesting in that fashion, but I believe St. Louis will take the next step, especially with Yadier Molina coming back, and you know, with Nolan there and Yadier leading that team.
Yeah.
That's a lot of experience. I think they'll take the step and win that division this year.
For sure. Transitioning to football now, the Kansas City Chiefs, they handled the Buffalo Bills quite easily last Sunday. Tampa Bay beat Green Bay Packers for the second time this year, so that's your Super Bowl. It's Patrick Mahomes versus Tom Brady, Super Bowl 55, Chiefs versus Bucks. What are your first thoughts on the Super Bowl?
My first thoughts are just the fact that it's a mega matchup. It's one of those matchups that's like a generational talent that's on their way out versus a generational talent that's guaranteed to be good for the next 20 years on the way up.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if Michael Jordan stayed one more year after the Last Dance and they faced LA in the finals with Shaq and Kobe. It was one of those things where you never kind of get to see.
Yeah.
But it's of that magnitude with Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady.
Yeah, I agree. I think this game is almost it needs to be won by Patrick Mahomes more than Tom Brady was my first thought when I saw that this was going to be the matchup. Because if Patrick Mahomes wants to be or surpass what Tom Brady has already established in this league, I feel like this is one that he's got to win. Because if Patrick Mahomes goes on to tie Tom Brady with 7 Super Bowls, everybody's going to look back and go, yeah, but he never beat Tom in the big game. So if Patrick can win this Super Bowl, I don't even think he has to get 6, 7 Super Bowls to pass Tom Brady. I think he could win 4 and at the end of it go, yeah, and he beat the best to ever do it. I think maybe Patrick Mahomes is the best to ever do it. It's going to be a really fun Super Bowl to watch for that reason. That is quite the storyline. One of the best storylines, I think, in Super Bowl history. A lot of people on the internet that I've seen are kind of thinking that this could be a Kansas City blowout. I really don't see that happening. I think that's based off what the Chiefs did in the first half against Tampa Bay earlier this year. But the Chiefs are going to be without their left tackle, Eric Fisher, a Pro Bowl left tackle. And that's one of the most important positions on the team. Definitely the most important position on the offensive line. They're going to be without linebacker Willie Gay. And Patrick Mahomes is banged up. I mean, he had the turf toe thing. He had the concussion 2 weeks ago. Danny, there's no way Kansas City goes in there and beats them by 20-plus points, right?
Not with the experience that Tom Brady and the firepower that Tampa Bay has, just in general. I can't see it being a blowout. I think it's going to be a close game. I think the betting lines are obviously favoring Kansas City.
Yeah.
So there might be some money with all the things you just laid out there on the line to bet on Tampa Bay and maybe make some big-time profits.
Yeah, I think it's 3.5 right now for Kansas City.
Wow. Those are good odds. I kind of like those odds for Tampa.
Yeah. So Deshaun Watson, staying with football, he officially this week, it came out that he has said to the Houston Texans, get me out of here, trade me. He is a all-time talent in the NFL. He's probably the second best quarterback in the NFL today. Where do you see Deshaun Watson landing? And if you were Deshaun Watson, where would you want to go?
If I'm Deshaun Watson, I think I might want to step right into New England in the Patriots system. You might have if he's that good, and Bill Belichick is as good as he says he is, and if he's as good as the public says he is, then he should be able to take an elite quarterback like that in his prime and bring the Patriots back to life with that.
Yeah.
And I think that's an opportunity for Deshaun to take. And I don't know if this is possible or not, but the Cowboys, I think he fits there. With the injury of Dak Prescott last year, I'm sure there's some question marks on what kind of quarterback is he going to be when he returns.
He's still a free agent.
That's a fit that's a fit I could see as well.
Yeah, those are two good fits.
Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, those are two great fits. I like both those ideas. If I was Deshaun Watson, so right now it's rumored that he wants to go to the New York Jets or the Miami Dolphins. But if I was him, I would say, you know what? Look at the AFC. Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen even. I'm looking at the AFC and going, there's no way I want to be in that conference for the next 5 to 10 years. Put me in the NFC. Go put me with San Francisco, with a team that they got injured this year, so they didn't make the playoffs. Their whole defense basically got hurt, but they're going to be back next year. They're a great team. What about Washington? Well coached. They got a really good young defensive core. If I'm Deshaun Watson, I'm looking at the NFC and seeing Aaron Rodgers at 38 years old. I'm seeing Tom Brady at 43 years old. Drew Brees retiring. The NFC is going to be wide open. That's where I would want to go if I was Deshaun Watson.
Great point.
Moving on to hockey now, the Toronto Maple Leafs. They have started the season with a 7-2 record. Leaf fans are going wild. Is this the year we can plan the parade? Danny, is it too early for these Leaf fans to be this excited?
Well, of course it's too early. The season just started. And but we are talking about Leafs fans. So after one win, we're winning the cup, and after one loss, we got to fire the front office and the coach and really rebuild.
Yeah.
That's just the nature of not just the Leafs. It's not. I know, of course, everyone rags on Leafs fans for acting like that. But it's the same for all Toronto sports. It's the same for the Raptors, the same for the Blue Jays. That's just how the market reacts.
Yeah.
Of course, it's too early to answer your question, but the Leafs are looking good. There's something to be hopeful for, and you have to believe they're going to end up winning the North Division.
Yeah. There's teams in this league right now, Danny, that have only played 4 games because of different COVID circumstances. So, yeah, it's a little early to be saying Leafs for the cup. They also, with all due respect, they do play in probably the weakest division in hockey, I would say. But they do look good. Let's not take that away from them. Wayne Simmons, he has scored in 3 straight games. He's brought a lot of physicality to the team, and that was the biggest knock on the Leafs, I would say, going into this season. Zach Bogosian's been a good pickup. He plays a nice physical game. They do look like a good team, but I don't really think it even matters if the Leafs win out the rest of this regular season. All eyes are going to be on the Leafs when they play that first round matchup again. And if they get bounced in the first round, it doesn't matter what their record was. Leaf fans are excited now, but the main goal is to have a nice, long, sustained playoff run. And if they don't have that again this year, Kyle Dubas, Brendan Shanahan, I think they're gone. I think John Tavares, that $10 million contract of his, That's got to go. We might be looking at a rebuild for the Leafs if they can't get by the first round. Doesn't even matter what they do in this regular season. That's the goal, the playoffs. So Leaf fans maybe do need to settle down a little bit.
Well, of course, like we said, Tyler, we're talking about Leafs fans here, and they wear their hearts on their sleeves. That's for sure. They're emotional when it comes to their boys there, but
yeah.
You have, like you said about the North Division being probably the weakest division in the NHL. You have to worry about the Leafs getting too used to playing Ottawa and Calgary and even Montreal. Although Montreal's they're looking great. I shouldn't disparage them like that. But you get too used to playing teams like that. It's when you get into the playoffs and now you get a 7-game series against Boston, against Columbus, against Philly, against Tampa. Can you make that jump, that next step? Because there is a jump there, and you're gonna have to prove that you can make that. And it's very possible that it's another first round exit.
Yeah.
But just with the circumstances of the new divisions with COVID in place this year.
To your point, Montreal does look good so far. They are 5-0-2, and you know what's good about Montreal being good? And the Leafs being good at the same time, that's just good for the NHL. That's good marketing right there. You want those two teams to meet each other in the playoffs, both playing hot hockey.
Oh, yeah. Big time, bud.
All right, we go to our segment, Ty and Dan Crack a Can. This week, we're going to toast to Aaron Rodgers. Danny, you saw this video on social media of Aaron Rodgers in the back of a pickup truck, riding around Green Bay after practice, holding a case of beer. How legendary is Aaron Rodgers for doing this? And when you first saw this video, you didn't think it was real either, right?
Aaron Rodgers is just an absolute beauty. I'm trying to put myself in his shoes, coming off of just obviously heartbreaking playoff loss, one of his last kind of rides in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We don't know what kind of future he has, and even if it's going to be with Green Bay. So I'm trying to put myself in his shoes, and what would I be doing if I was him? And I'd be doing exactly what he's doing. So props to Aaron Rodgers, and I'm glad to see it.
I think the video was actually taken earlier in the season. I could be wrong on that, but I don't really see how he's just, after a heartbreaking playoff loss, just getting in the back of a pickup truck with a case of beer. But you might be right on that.
Well, I really wish that was the case.
Yeah. One of the best things that came from this video, I think, is people got to see Aaron Rodgers kind of normalized. I mean, we lose sight that these star athletes that make millions of dollars, at the end of the day, are just dudes like you and me.
With a lot more talent.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like, the same interests. Like, they're still guys at the end of the day, and they're still going to be boys being boys, just with lots more money.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, that's all the time we have for today. The Ty and Dan podcast signing off. Danny, it's been a blast.
Thank you very much, sir.